JC, yeah.
Who am I? I'm Spider-Man.
Alright, Saints, and welcome back. Another great day, another great recap. Today we're going to recap Chicago PD's Season 9, Episode 8. I believe the episode is called Fractures. And let's get into the recap. Alright, so we pick up where we left off, and Voight has to meet up with an FBI special agent, North, about the Roy Walton case. They had no evidence that Roy had left the city and offered fresh eyes on the case. Suddenly, Voight got a call from his team to respond to a situation. A man was stabbed in his home. The man was bleeding furiously, but he was only concerned about his daughters. Halstead Upton responded to the scene, and Upton found his younger daughter, Candace, hiding from the attacker. The team determined that the stabbing victim was Harvey Clark, and his older daughter, Darlene, was at school during the attack. There was no sign of forced entry, and some cash was found in the house. After briefing, Voight pulled Upton and Halstead to the side to give them a heads up about the FBI snooping around Roy Walton's disappearance. Halstead got real mad about it, and he ultimately would lead them back to Voight, and it reassured it was a fishing expedition, advised to stick together on the issue. What happened, and it was dumb, was we're still letting go of this Roy thing. For whatever reason, Roy's case is a big deal because he just disappeared. Who cares? The guy was a criminal, right? For whatever reason, they're hanging on to knowing what happened to him or why he disappeared. Whatever. So Agent North is introduced to the team. He's going to be staying upstairs with intelligence, and he offered files on Walton's case. They discussed the possible motives that could be related to Harvey's business. The team then surveilled an unknown gang member, Santiago, associated with Harvey. When they approached Santiago, he fled and fired his gun at the police. So they somehow thought this gang was involved with the Harvey being shot and whatever, or stabbed, and it turned out he fled the scene, so of course he looked guilty. While he was being interrogated, Santiago tried to deny knowing Harvey, but then they rebutted with a proof that he had been used to be security at his nightclub. Voight pressed the man and then revealed that he didn't stab Harvey, but he used the businessman to launder their dirty drug money. So now we have Upton Halstead in an interview with Candace and Darlene at the hospital, and Candace described this horrific ordeal, just very I don't know. She had to witness it to the way she described what was going on. And suddenly the doctor caring for Harvey came in to inform the girls their father died. Let's talk about that for a minute. Any other time someone's parent dies in a show in the hospital, it's always like this big, hey, we're sorry, we did the best we could. However, this doctor was so dry and so underpaid for her role that she literally came out and was like, sorry girls, your dad didn't make it, and walked off. It was probably one of the funniest things I'd ever seen, but it was hilarious. I completely enjoyed it because he really wasn't that big a deal and no one really cared about him. So I laughed about it. It made me laugh hysterically when she just came out and said it. So now, as we're looking back in what's going on inside intelligence, North is individually interviewing each team member. However, he pressed Upton as he couldn't recreate her movements that night. He brought up a man of interest, Mark, who was associated with Walton, and he was to help him escape. Now, if you remember, the man in this episode, the man was killed by Halstead by sniper fire as he held a hostage at gunpoint. Just then, Voight crashed the interview, pulled Upton up for a break in their case, and found a teen Rodrigo had visited the home. And from the looks, he's Candace's boyfriend. So they hauled Rodrigo in for questioning. He's afraid. He claimed to pick the girls up for school each morning. However, that morning the girls told him to go away. He admitted that Darlene was at the house and she was sent him away. And now Upton and Halstead are like, wait a minute, Darlene was at school. Candace was at the house. What does he mean Darlene was at the house? So now they're thinking, okay, there's something more going on. So they caught up the girls. So now they realize the girls were lying about something. So they caught the girls in the lie, asked to see Darlene's arm. And she had cut wounds on her right arm. It was so funny too, because when Hailey's like, show me your arm, she pulled up one sleeve, and Hailey's like, alright, stupid, show me your other sleeve. She didn't say stupid, but she wanted to say stupid, because she said, show me your arms, and the girl literally lifted up one sleeve. So it was super funny in that scene, because you could tell she was like looking at it, whatever. Platt, we get some Trudy Platt in it, and Platt found more intel on North. He was a career man and needed a breaking case to work his way up to the ranks. He asked to be assigned to Walton's case. So now we know there's more to it. The two were visiting Carmela, the woman who Mark took hostage before he died. And Platt posed as an FBI agent to ask what did she tell North. She stated that Mark told her that CPD had murdered Walton. And when Upton tried to talk him down, she promised to tell the world what happened. Later on in the day, Voight checked under Upton's car and found a tracker. So, Voight finds a tracker. He tells Jay to let Hailey know. So it was really nice seeing Jay comes in the house, seems mad, pulls Hailey into the bathroom, turns the shower on, lets her know there was a tracker found. Not sure if there's any bugs in the house. So now they're trying to figure out exactly, what's going on, what the feds actually have, because it sounds like the feds don't have anything, and that's why they're bugging everybody, or planting bugs in everyone's house and stuff like that. Well, not even everybody. They're just after Hailey at this point. Voight was confided that they wouldn't go far without a body. He knew they were going to press hard on Upton, and they all needed to hold the line. Well, now Hailey and Halstead are doing their thing and hanging out and talking, and they get to the girls and realize, as long as the sisters are together, the story's never gonna change. And they realize that Candace is like the mastermind, I think, in this. So they realized that Darlene was going to be the one to crack. So, although Darlene confessed, Upton didn't feel it was genuine. So suddenly Upton was called to the federal building to testify under oath about the night Roy went missing. North laid out all the evidence against Upton, but she stonewalled the agent and then turned the heat on her past, stating how men abused and blah, blah, blah. And he tried to really get inside her head. Upton let him know, hey, listen, I don't got time for this garbage. If you had anything, you'd be charging me. So I'm going to get back to work. You're a scumbag, and you're not going to make your big case on my back. So Upton met up with Halstead to share what the feds didn't have a strong case, blah, blah, blah. Moreover, he told her the stabbing case was right. They decided to look back over the video of the girls in lockup and revealed Candace was the one in charge, not Darlene. So they re-interviewed them separately, and they took Darlene and made it sound like they were charging her and getting ready to book her. And Candace was so cold or so playful, like, stay strong, blah, blah, blah. And you could just see, like, this girl is definitely a sociopath. So they cuff Darlene, they take her out, and they actually make a stop at the house to kind of let her see the scene from where she was at. And Upton, being Upton, the great cop that she is, and I'm finally good that we're getting back to her being a good cop, she uncuffed her and told her she thinks that the cuts on her arm were from trying to stop Candace from murdering their father. And very simply, without that Candace there to scare her, Darlene completely confessed that Candace wanted to kill Harvey for a long time. They both were terrified of her, and Harvey didn't want to admit her to a mental institution. and Darlene was forced to take charge for Candace. They arrested Candace, and this was so weird because Candace is such a little bitch. They go to arrest her, and she's got this whole look on her face, like, whatever, you didn't do it, and she's got this smirk on her face, and all of a sudden she starts this fake plea to her grandmother. Grandma, you know it wasn't me, I don't know why they're taking me, Grandma, help me, Grandma, don't let them. But it was such a valid performance for someone to be labeled like a sociopath or be crazy or be the scary one that everyone's afraid of. It was really good. It was a little weird because we didn't get a lot of anybody else this episode. Like, we didn't really get much of Ruzek. We didn't really get much of Burgess. We got a little bit of Atwater here and there, but they didn't have like any sub-storylines. They really were focused on closing up this ridiculous storyline of Hailey being a cop afraid of her own shadow because she killed a bad guy. Like, finally, hopefully we're done with this. So, you think everything's done, the episode's going good, and you're just like, all right, this is fantastic. They figured it out. It's over. We get the bad news from the commercial break that this will be the last episode until December 8th, and December 8th will be the finale. Again, why are we getting a finale? And I know we get a fall finale every year. I got so excited with having an episode every week since the show aired for all three shows that I was not ready to hear now that we're already getting ready for the fall finale. I know it's coming, but I didn't want it. I didn't want it. All right, I'm over it. Sorry, guys. I'll stop talking about that. But I was very mad about that. I really, really, really hate show holes. But because of the show holes, be on the lookout for our other podcast called the My Watch List. Me and TiVoMike have worked on putting together some watch list episodes on what you guys can watch in the midst of your show holes. So keep a lookout for that. Check out my Twitter at EGMike84. Check out TiVoMike's Instagram. He may put things up there as well during the show holes on what we're watching in place of great shows. Okay? All right. So, back to the episode. Halstead's getting ready to drive home. He's pulled over by an undercover cop. Sure enough, it's not an undercover cop. It's stupid Agent North. And he directs Halstead to follow him. They arrive at the crime scene where CSI and forensic had uncovered Roy Walton's charred bones. Can't necessarily say it's Roy's, but they discovered charred bones. We know it's Roy because we know he was buried there. He found that Halstead tracked Voight's GPS and found the site. He was the key fracture on the case. North gave detective a choice. Either both Halstead and Upton. Either both Halstead and Upton and help him take down Voight. So he can arrest both Upton and Halstead, and they get in trouble for it, whatever. Or they agree to help him take down Voight. I really, really wish they would find something better to do with their time instead of creating these storylines of take down Voight. One, it's 9 years, and every time you do this, the person who's trying to take him down either gets killed, gets shot, or somehow blows their own cover or case, and then they lose out. So I'm over that whole thing. Get rid of it. Stop making that a storyline. But I get it. Everyone hates Voight because he gets away with it, being a good old cowboy cop. Whatever. Jay isn't a fan of Voight's tactics, but he knows it's always meant to be a good outcome. It's always for the greater good. So I don't think Jay is going to go with this plan to help bring down Voight, and Upton has no gain in bringing down Voight. So I think we're going to get a little bit of a break from it when they return on the 8th for the finale, and it's going to come up right at the end of the finale, and then they'll worry about it in January when they try to come back with it. But we'll have to wait and really see what happens. What I will say I thought was super great was, because of Jay being the kind of cop that he was, and North being the agent he was, tracking everybody else's stuff, it's hilarious that because of what Jay did, that's why what's his name? That's why North was able to determine that, where the body potentially was buried. So at the end of the day, I mean, without Jay meaning to do it, Jay was the snitch in this episode because he should just left well enough alone. But he didn't want to. So that's why we're where we're at now, and we're going to get fractures. I'm still looking forward to it. This was an amazing episode. It kept my attention from beginning to end. I'd watch it again just because. I don't know what to tell you guys. Fire, PD, Med, you guys are doing great. Keep it up. Keep us entertained. Please let these finales be phenomenal, because then after the finale on December 8th, they won't usually come back till like the 14th or the 21st in January, or that week of. So hopefully we'll know for sure what it'll be. I think, to be honest with you, when they return, the date is going to be... Oh, we didn't even have an air date yet. So it's probably going to be the second week in January. That's usually when it is. So we'll see what happens there. But you guys, subscribe, like us, comment, leave us some feedback in the comment space there on YouTube. That's where we're at. Check us out. We need this from you guys. Let us know what you want from us. Tell us what you're going to be watching during the show hold. Because I can tell you now, I've watched the show hold list, and I'm already working on another list for the show holds. So you guys, we're going to take care of you. We're going to keep you entertained. We're going to tell you what to watch, or inform you on what you can watch. But trust me, you're going to watch what we watch, because we watch great stuff. And continue tuning in. We'll be here. Again, this is Chicago PD's recap. You guys have a great night. Thanks for being here. Thanks for allowing us to do what we do. And we'll see you soon. Have a good night, Saints.